Good morning, YouTube. Oh boy, what happened? Yeah, my face got fatter, I know. Facial hair really does add the ruggedness, really does add the good looks. Anyways, guys, so today I'm gonna give you 10 fresh, cheap fragrances that you could rock in the summertime, right? So top 10 summer cheapies coming up. So let's just get it started. Fragrance number 1, Coach for Men. All right, now, this is a very popular fragrance in our community for rightfully so, all right? So this has got like kumquat, pear, lavender. It's got warm, spicy notes of like cardamom and coriander. So those two spices, very inviting. The lavender adds that freshness. The kumquat and the pear add that fruity nuance. And this just comes across as like a bit of a body wash type of fragrance. Very clean, very bluish in some ways, very fruity. But there's also suede and ambergris. So overall, just fresh, overly fresh. And if you want something that's just mass appealing, easy to wear, that's fruity, that's slightly warm, spicy, and not a whole lot in all honesty, with loads of ambergris, Coach might be something that you would like. Longevity, 6 to 7 hours. Fragrance number 2 is a recent acquisition, and that's going to be Kenneth Cole Blue. This one has been like mentioned a few times by a guy named Chuck the Tailor. Forgive me if I'm getting your name wrong, but shout outs to you. He's right. Like, I reviewed this one years ago with a sample and I really liked it. This one has loads of citruses, like different citruses. So whether it's lemon, bergamot, whatever, but it's just overly citrusy. And I love that, right? But there's also going to be cedar. The cedar is the backbone to this scent because if it wasn't there, the cedar, like this fragrance, I should say, would be gone in like 2 hours. But there's also sea notes to kind of give it that, like that sea salty marine-like feel. But also amber. I feel like there's a little bit of musk to this one here, but I might be wrong. Overall, this is casual, it's great for school, it's solid for work as it's just very clean and offensive. It's kind of boring, I'm not gonna lie, but I kind of like this one. I kind of like boring fragrances, right? These are my types of scents, just summertime is not my choice of season. I really don't do well in the high heat. This will definitely do well in the high heat. Longevity off this one here, unfortunately, is not the best. I get anywhere from 4 to 6 hours, generally 4 to 5. Let's stick with Kenneth Cole, and that's gonna be Vintage Black. This has oak, lime, tequila, lavender, green notes. Now this is just, I would say that this is probably like my favorite from Kenneth Cole, all right? This is like, that lime pops. You're gonna get like a sparkling boozy accord. Now I don't know if tequila has an odor, it has a scent profile itself, but you do get this like sparkling fizzy accord. You're gonna get that lavender. So maybe it's like the 3 notes together, lime, lavender, but also the tequila. You're also gonna get that oak in the dry down. The oak itself is the backbone because again, if there wasn't that woody nuance, this probably would be gone like 2 to 3 hours. This is like 5 to 7, but just a great overall scent. Like you could rock it to college. You could wear it to school if you choose to, like high school, but it might resonate a little bit more with someone who's in college to work. So it's not like a professional smelling fragrance. This is probably the better option for work, but if you work in an environment that's it's just soul crushing and you need something just to help you get through the day, this might be it. Fragrance number 4 is going to be Original Penguin Iconic Blend. You have to have this one in your summer arsenal. This has musk, woods, clary sage. Like the clary sage does add that herbal nuance, adds a little bit of greenery to it, but you're also going to get loads of violet. I get a little bit of ginger. I don't know if ginger is a note, but the violet leaf is very front and center. It adds that aromatic quality to it. But there's also a little bit of nutmeg, kind of give it a little bit of a warm, spicy nuance. This is a great high heat banger. It's school, it's work, it's everyday casual. Longevity off this, 5 to 6 hours. Fragrance number 5, if you're doing a cheapie list, you have to have this brand. If you're doing a summer cheapie list, then you have to have this scent. 360 Red by Perry Ellis. Now this is just a spicier version than the Armani Acqua di Gio. Plain and simple. This has like coriander. It has cinnamon or nutmeg. Definitely the citruses. It's got some lavender, cloves, and what really shines is that lime. So the most prominent notes for me are going to be the spices, the lime, then the lavender itself. Great fragrance. Overall, this is a great bang for your buck fragrance, right? Like Jeremy Fragrance hyped this one up for a very good reason, and it's been popular ever since. he really hyped it up. This, when I came into the community, was, you know, mentioned quite a bit, but over the years it just lost a lot of mention, or just people just forgot about it. But when Jeremy started mentioning it, it started getting a lot more traction. Longevity off this is going to be anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. Fragrance number 6 is going to be Bentley Momentum Unlimited. Now, when I did my review with Rush, I said that this is more of a younger man scent. So, gotta correct myself. I think that this is a little bit more for the older guy. Now, when I mean older guy, trust me, this is not a mature old man's fragrance. I'm just thinking someone who's like 28 and up, right? But if you're a young man in their early 20s, if you like it, then rock it. But this just, that suede or that leather component and the woods kind of add that mature feel to it, in my opinion. But there's also musk, ambroxan, there's apple. So the apple itself is fruity, adds that sweetness to it. The ambroxan is front and center for sure. You're gonna get some of that leather, vetiver as well, but also woods. Longevity off this, I would say that this is probably one of the more better performing fragrances in this list, 7 to 8 hours. Fragrance number 7, I just filmed a review of this just before filming this one here, but that review will be out after this video, but that's gonna be Burberry BRIT Splash. This has rosemary, it's got melon, musk, it's got cyclamen, sea notes. I believe that there's a little bit of vetiver or something like that. Okay, oak moss, didn't want to look at the notes, but definitely musk, violet as well. So overall, it's just like the name, just splash. It's a watery scent with the melon, the aquatics, the cyclamen. Very fresh, over the top fresh. Very casual. This is like a young man scent to like, I find it just might resonate a little bit more with the younger demographics. But if you're an old guy like myself, I'm not that old, I'm 45, so I'm not old nor am I young. But if you're like my age and you like it, then rock it. I just think that it might resonate a little bit more with the younger guys out there. Longevity off this one here, unfortunately, not the best, but it's not bad. Just reapply as the day goes by. 4 to 6 hours. Generally, 4 to 5, and this is the epitome of a white t-shirt and jeans scent. Fragrance number 8. If you don't have anything from this brand, then it's not a true summer list. Lacoste Essential. You have to have a Lacoste when you're doing a top spring or a top summer fragrance list, without question, right? This has cassia, tomato leaf. So it's a very green scent, but there's also bergamot or like lemon, something like that. But there's also a very interesting tangerine note. Tangerine is not the most prominent citrus accord, but it's actually nicely done in a cheap fragrance like this, along with the cassia and the tomato leaf. There's also a little bit of pepper, sandalwood, and patchouli. So what this is overall is green, citrusy, and like an earthy patchouli woody scent. So great scent, came out in 05. It's been around for a long time. I would say this is one of the best fragrances from Lacoste in my opinion. Very underrated. When I came into this community like so many years ago, it was very popular, but as the years progressed, a lot of people, just like this one here, kind of like just forgotten about this fragrance. But do check this one out. Great scent, very green. If you want something green, herbal, fresh, definitely check this one out. School, work, longevity, 6 to 7 hours. Fragrance number 9. This one just doesn't get a lot of mention, but this brand does. So this brand, very cheapy. That's gonna be Azzaro's Solarissimo Lavanzo. This one here has passion fruit, citruses. It's got sea notes, lavender, mint tea, basil, ginger, and I believe cardamom. So what this is a fruity, fresh, lavender, green herbal scent with maybe with definitely the aquatics and maybe a little bit of woods towards the end. Very, very under the radar. It's really a nice fragrance. There's 3 fragrances in this line. So you got the Lavanzo, you have the Maritimo, which is more of a woody aquatic, but also, and I'm just gonna butcher the name, Favignana, which is more of a, like an ambery, sweet, fruity scent. It kind of reminds me of like a Paco Rabanne 1 million. That one was really not for me, but this one here is my favorite. This is just like everyday casual. It's solid for work, decent for school, longevity, 5 to 7 hours. Fragrance number 10, I have to put this one in now because it's discontinued and eventually it'll all be sold out. It's still easily available right now, unlike the other fragrances from this company. I wish it wasn't, I wish they didn't do it. It's gonna be from this company here. So I used to be the Ferrari guy, the Ferrari hype man, all right? But bright neroli, no, it's not bright neroli, but bright neroli is hard to come by. Then the Noble Fig is still out there, but it's starting to become a little bit more expensive. The cedar essence, the or the lavender essence, they're all, it's hard to come by. But Ferrari's Radiant Bergamot is still easily available, which is really funny because at one time, this was the unicorn. This was so hard to come by like 4-5 years ago. This has clary sage, rosemary, which adds that herbal greenness to it. It also has a very bright bergamot. The bergamot in this is done beautifully. There's also ginger, patchouli, and there's got to be some cedar or some sandalwood to it. This is just an amazing fragrance that you got to get your hands on now. This might resonate a little bit more with someone who is 30 and up. It does have a little bit of an older school vibe, but it's modern, all right? But this, a young man, like someone in their 20s, like early 20s, college, could easily rock it, but it just has a little bit more of a mature feel. It's school, it's work, it's daytime semi-formal. I do think it's elegant enough for that, but it's also a great white t-shirt and jeans scent. Longevity of this, 6 to 7 hours. And everybody, that's it. That is my top 10 summer cheapies for 2022. I wanted to do this video now and not a little bit later because this one will not be available. Maybe by July, this might all be gone. So I'm not trying to like worry you. I'm not trying to instill fear or panic. But if you haven't gotten this, if you are like down to, like I got a backup bottle of this. But if you need to get it now. That's why this video is going out now. Any reviews that I've done on these fragrances, they will all be down in the description box below. I will be doing another video like this, but it's probably gonna be a top 5. So guys, if you like this very video, you know what to do. Leave me one of these. Thank you for your time, take care, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching, everyone.